Okay, so today's class, we are looking at solving number problems. So here's our first example. If a number is doubled and the result increased by 4, the sum is 94. Find the number. Okay, so the first thing we know here, we know that a number is doubled. So we have to state the first thing when we're identifying or when we're trying to solve a problem using equations is we're going to use our 4 steps. And these 4 steps, again, are there for you under modules. But the first step is identify what you're looking for and call it X or call it any other letter you want to use as the variable. Translate the English sentence into a mathematical sentence, which means we're going to make it into an equation. Third step is you're going to solve the equation. And then fourth step is write the final statement. So the first thing we're going to say here is we're going to say X is going to equal the number. So we're going to use X. We're going to use X as the variable. Next, let's start coming up with our equation. So we know that a number is doubled. That means we're going to take X and we're going to double it. That means you're going to multiply it by 2. So 2X. Next, we know the result is increased by 4. So we know we're going to add 4. Like that. And we know that when we have this equation, the sum of it is 94. So the sum means addition. So when we add these two together, it is equal to 94. All right, so there is our equation. So find the number means we have to solve for X to find the number because X represents the number. So now we just have to solve. This is just a type 2 equation. So the first thing we're going to do is subtract 4 on both sides. And that leaves me with 2x is equal to 90. And then divide by 2 on both sides. And that leaves me with x is equal to 45. Okay, and the last step, once we have solved the equation, is to write a final statement. So here, the question was find the number, and our statement will be the number is 45. And because we know x was equal to 45, x represents the number, therefore the number is 45. Our second example is the larger of two numbers is 7 more than 5 times the smaller. If their sum is 61, what are the numbers? So with a question like this, when there's a larger number and a smaller number, we have to set it up. We'll call larger and smaller number. So the larger number is 7 more than 5 times the smaller. So therefore, our smaller number we're going to call x, and our larger number we have to use what is given here is that it's 7 more than 5 times the smaller. So 5 times will be 5x, and it's 7 more, so plus 7. All right, so our smaller number is just x, and our larger number is represented by 5x plus 7. And now the next statement here is that their sum is 61, then what are the numbers? So we have to add the two together and make it equal to 61. So 5x plus 7 plus x is equal to 61. So there's our equation. Now we can go ahead, collect like terms, and solve for x. So on the left-hand side, we have 5x plus 7 plus x. So we can collect 5x and x together on the left-hand side. All right, so 5x plus x, that gives me 6x. Plus 7 is equal to 61. Now I can go ahead and subtract the 7 on both sides. And that gives me 6x is equal to 54. Divide by 6 on both sides. And that gives me x is equal to 9. All right, so we know x is equal to 9. So go back to the statements we had made, which was the smaller number was x. The larger number is 5x plus 7. All right, so therefore the smaller number, which is just x, the smaller number will be 9. All right, so the smaller number is 9. And the larger number is 5 times x plus 7. So 5 times 9, which is 45, plus 7, which gives me 52. So the smaller number is 9, and the larger number is 52. All right, so when answering a question like this, you always have to go back to your original variables that you set. All right, so in this case, x was equal to 9, so therefore the smaller number, which is just x, was equal to 9, but the larger number was 5x plus 7. So you have to multiply 5 times 9 and then add the 7 to give the 52. All right, our next example is the sum of 3 consecutive numbers is 33. What are the numbers? So consecutive numbers are numbers that are one after the other. So 1, 2, and 3 would be consecutive numbers. 20, 21, 22, those would be 3 consecutive numbers as well. So any 3 numbers that are going one after the other. So to set up consecutive numbers, the first number is always x. The first number is x. The second number will be x plus 1. All right, and then the third number will be x plus 2. So that is how consecutive numbers will always be set up. All right, so first is x, second is x plus 1, and then the third is x plus 2. All right, and our next clue here is that the sum of the 3 consecutive numbers is 33. So that means sum means addition. So that means we're going to add the three expressions there together, and the sum is 33. So it's x plus x plus 1 plus x plus 2. And the sum of it, we know in the question, is 33. So it's equal to 33. All right, so a situation like this, again, I would collect my like terms together. So x plus x, which gives me 3x. X plus x plus x, that's 3x. I can also collect together the 1 plus 2 here. There's a 1 and a 2, so I can collect that together as well, which is 3. So 3x plus 3, like that, and it's equal to 33. So all I've done so far is collect the 3 x's together. So x plus x plus x gives me 3x, and then the 1 plus 2 gives me the 3, and it's still equal to 33. Now I can go ahead and solve for x. So the first thing I'll do is subtract 3 on both sides. That gives me that 3x is equal to 30. And then divide by 3 on both sides. And that gives me x is equal to 10. All right, so we know x is equal to 10. So that means our first number is 10. Our second number is going to be 10, which is here. So 10 plus 1, which is 11. And then our third number is going to be 10 plus 2, which is 12. All right, so once you've solved, you always have to go back to the expressions we made here. All right, so our first number is 10, our second number is 11, and our third is 12. So I'm just going to write here my final statement. The numbers are 10, 11, and 12. All right, our fourth example is if 3 is added to a number and the sum multiplied by 2, the result is the same as 9 subtracted from 3 times the number, find the number. So let's set this up. We're going to let x equal the number. So we're using x as the variable. All right, so let's take a look at our first statement. If 3 is added to a number, so if 3 is added to the number, that's x plus 3. And the sum is multiplied by 2. So x plus 3 then is being multiplied by 2. So that means we'll put it into brackets and multiply it by 2 like that. The result is the same. So the result is the same as 9 subtracted from 3 times the number. So that means it's equal to 3 times the number, so 3x, and then 9 is subtracted from 3 times the number, so minus 9. All right, so now we have our equation. So 2 in brackets, it's x plus 3, and it's equal to 3x minus 9. All right, so the first thing we have to do here is distributive property, multiply the 2 to everything inside the bracket. So we get 2x plus 6 is equal to 3x minus 9. And now we can start solving for x. And so we can subtract the 3x on both sides. And that leaves me with negative x plus 6 is equal to negative 9. And then I'm going to subtract 6 on both sides. And that leaves me with negative x is equal to negative 15. All right, it's a negative x, meaning there's a negative 1 there. So divide by that negative 1, divide by negative 1. And we get x is equal to 15. All right, and go back to the original statement that we had made, which was x is equal to the number, so therefore the number is 15. All right, so our last example, 6 times a number increased by 4 is equal to 34. What is the number? So 6 times a number, so we're going to let x equal the number. That just states our variable that we're going to use. So next, translate it into a mathematical equation. So 6 times a number, that would be 6x, increased by 4. So add 4, that is equal to 34. All right, so our equation is 6x plus 4 is equal to 34. And now we just have to solve for x. So subtract by 4 on both sides. And that leaves me with 6x equals 30. And then divide by 6 on both sides. And that gives me x is equal to 5. All right, and then go back to our original statement here, which was x is equal to the number, so therefore the number is equal to 5. That's my statement. The number is 5.